We're going to find the equation of a line if we were to graph it, given this table. Okay, this tells me about my rate of change, my slope, my rise over run. You may pick any two columns from this table you want to figure out how it is changing. Remember, m is the change in the y over the change in the x. I'm just going to pick the first two, but you could pick the first and the third, the second and the fourth, the center two, it doesn't matter. To go from here to here, I would have to subtract 2. So y equals -2, the change in the y's. Using the same two columns I selected here, I have to figure the change in x. To go from -4 to 0 is +4. The beginning point is always the y-intercept. That is where x equals 0. Well, that is given to me right here. When x is 0, y is a positive 14. I need to simplify this. Y equals -1/2 x plus 14. Now we'll repeat the process with the table below it. Again, picking any two columns you want. To mix it up, I'm going to pick the center two. It doesn't matter. -5 to -8 is a change of -3. To go from 6 to 9 is a positive 3. Oh, when I look at this table, unlike that table, I'm missing a 0. Think of this as a number line. When this is a number line, where would I find the number 0? Here in the front. So I have to ask myself, okay, if we're going +3 here and -3 there, what number -3 would get me to -2? 1. Now I know where x is 0, y is 1. Again, reduce when you can. So y equals -1x plus 1, or y equals -x plus 1. If there is more than one x, they would have to include the digit. Here we had a half, we had to put a half. -1 or just -x means the same thing. The process is exactly the same when I give you a story. I'm going to pick the first two. It is the change in y. I'll admit I need to grab my calculator to make sure I do that right. And I get 44. This from here to here is plus a 44. Here to here is plus 2. Then, extending the table like I did above, if this was a number line, 0 for x would belong right here. So what number plus 44 would get me to 164? I would have to have 120 there. Reducing where I can, y equals 22x plus 120. What does that mean? At some point, someone started with 120 books, adding 22 books per month. So after month 1, they would have 42. At the next month, 164. Add 22, etc. They started with 120, adding 22 books a month. Now, just because this table is written vertically up and down does not mean it's any different. So we're going to pick two columns. Time is always your x, your independent variable, and this would be your y. So I'm going to do the change in y, and we're subtracting because we're getting smaller, over the change in x. Now I would have to extend my table. If I simplified this, I get negative 24. So, what number minus 24 would get me to 296? 320. That is telling me I'm starting with a hot water tub full of 320 gallons of water, draining or emptying out at a rate of 24 gallons per minute. It's draining. Pretty soon the tub will be empty.